Hi guys! So for this week's video, I want to recap last week where we talked about how I had gone to my first ER trip because turns out I had low sodium levels, low salt levels because of the trileptal, and I had gone to the emergency room and my neurologist had prescribed me salt tabs to take along with my trileptal to try and fix that problem. So that was on October 13th, 2019. And so we were gonna try and see how that worked. So now we are jumping ahead about 2 weeks later to October 30th, 2019. So this is about almost 2 months on trileptal. And so this morning I had gone to work at, 7 a.m. And when I say I felt horrible, I felt horrible. Like just, again, an overall feeling of not well. Nothing hurt. I just, extreme fatigue. Like getting out of bed was a chore. Talking was a chore. Almost the feeling of passing out, but just still forcing myself to be. I was at work. I think I was unloading boxes or something, just kind of getting around. My break was at 11 a.m. So I went into the break room. I was like, maybe if I eat something, get something to drink, I'll feel better. So I did that real quick. And then I just laid my head on the table and just kind of willed myself to feel better. Didn't happen. Break was over at 11:15. And I went back into my work area and I just knew. So when I found my manager, I was like, I think I have to go. And she took one look at me, was like, okay. And I had driven to work because I was still, able to drive at that point. And I called my husband, Danny. He was at work 20 minutes away. And I was like, I think I need to leave and I'm scared to drive. And he could hear my voice and he's like, I'll be right there. He pulls up, I get in his truck and he starts driving us home. And I'm just leaning my head against the window, can't even talk, I'm just exhausted. So we get home, I immediately just lay down on the couch and apparently within like 20 minutes, I have a tonic clonic. And that is the first time he decided to take a video of me doing that. And that is the first time I'm going to post a video of me having one doing that. Now, keep in mind, I have absolutely no energy at this point. I am done. And he only caught the last few seconds of it. And the video quality is horrible. So if you don't want to see it, look away now, fast forward, whatever. But I'll go ahead and insert that here. So again, that wasn't a violent one. That was kind of a small one. That was just, me not feeling good. And I don't even know that I woke up after that. I just kind of was still asleep because I was just so worn out. And that was around noon, I think. And then the kids got home from school. And then I think at around 4 o'clock, I had another one laying on the couch. And Danny knew again, okay, it's probably the salt. He had me take, if y'all remember from the last video, I started taking the sodium chloride salt tabs with my medication. Insert photo. So he had me take 4 of those immediately when I got home at noon, just in case, because he suspected that was the problem. Apparently it didn't do any good. It was too late. So at 4 o'clock when I had my second one, he's like, going back to the ER. So he gathered the kids up. This time his parents live about 5 minutes away. So we were able to drop them off and go right back to the same ER. Again, I got right in, same levels. Before, the problem was hyponatremia, low sodium salt levels. I'll put up the table again of what dangerous levels are. Again, anything below 135 is not good. Last time I was in the ER, it was at 134, which is just barely below. And so since then, I have been taking salt tabs to even it out. This time when I was at the ER, it was 124, I think he said, which, as you can see, is not good at all. Very dangerous, almost life-threatening, not good. So that ER doc called the nephrologist, who is the kidney doctor. And this is where it gets very confusing, very, I was kind of out of it, but Danny was very much in it because he knew all the backstory, knew what was going on. And the kidney doctor, who never once saw me, the nephrologist, was just reading lab reports, said, oh, her kidneys must be failing. We need to dehydrate her so that, you know, we can see if it's her kidneys and get her salt levels back. And Danny's like, no, it's the trileptal. We need to get, you know, saline back in and get her off of this trileptal. And the ER doctor kind of agreed, but because he had contacted the nephrologist, it had been taken over by him, and the ER doctor had no say anymore. So it was a huge, frustrating thing. I didn't know what was going on. I was out of it, clearly, in the ER. There was all this hustle and bustle around me. And Danny was my advocate, you know, trying to explain that that was the problem. The nephrologist wanted to prove that my kidneys weren't working, which they were. I'd never had a problem with my kidneys before. It wasn't the kidneys. We pretty much established that I was having a problem with trileptal. But it wasn't that. So I was in the ER for quite a while. And so he wanted to dehydrate me, which apparently takes days to do. Days. So in order to do that, they needed to transfer me to the ICU in a different hospital. And, you know, Danny can only do so much at that point. It's like, okay. So Danny had to go to work. You know, he's a professor. He had a lecture to teach at the college. So he had to go. He's like, as soon as I'm done teaching, I'll come back. I'll see you in the ICU at that other hospital. So God bless these ambulance guys. They had to transfer me by ambulance. Yeah. They took me to the ICU at the new hospital. At that point, at least, they had all agreed at the ER, get her off the trileptal. So that was one thing that at least that was agreed upon. They got me off trileptal in the ER and switched me to Dilantin. So that happened at the ER. So I guess for the next video, for next week, you'll get to, actually, Danny is going to be in part of the next video giving his take on what happened at the ICU, because he got to not yell, but very strongly voice his displeasure and upsetness with the ICU nurses, and really advocate for me and get some results. And God love him. His frustration with what had happened, and took charge of things. So yeah, I'm going to let him tell his side of the story on that next week. But it was a wild ride that you'll hear about next time. But yeah, so trileptal was not my friend. Again, another allergic reaction. Trileptal dropped my sodium levels to nearly life-threatening levels. So another one off the list. I can't have lorazepam or trileptal anymore. Any of you had problems with trileptal or lorazepam? Let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can hear about next week, see what all happens in the ICU, and hope to see you next time. Thanks, bye.